out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! And don't do that! And don't do that!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We ready! And let's go do that! And let's go do that!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We ready! And let's go do that! And let's go do that! It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. I'm hitting you for a fast break edition of the show and getting on out of here. So hope everybody had a happy and blessed holiday and that you are back at it safely and securely. I'm back in the H and just, ready to get my thing going. I got to be careful how many times I say, I got a young lady that I keep an eye on one of the major networks, and she says every few seconds, and I'm like, girl, just pause and breathe, and drop the ums. So I have to watch myself if I'm going to be watching somebody else. So let's get right to it. Busy weekend in the world of sports, and not just the weekend, but of course we had the Thanksgiving Day game. So let's just get right to those. Let me ask you the question: which game was most surprising to you? The outcome surprised you the most from Thanksgiving Thursday? I just did it again. I have to say the game that got my attention right before it started, I flipped my pick, was the Green Bay Detroit game. I switched my pick right before the kickoff. I said, oh no, I had Detroit in this one. I got Green Bay. And I don't know what it was about the game or the warm-up or the commentators before the game, but I switched my pick right before the game, and I was not wrong. Green Bay ended up beating the Lions in that one, 29-22, and the game was not as close as the final score. Green Bay defensively just really dominated that game. In fact, after the first quarter, it was 20-6. At the half, it was 23-6, and then the Lions put up 16 points, 8 junk points in the fourth quarter to make it a touchdown game, but it wasn't that close. The score was not indicative of that. Jordan Love got himself right, 268, and ended up throwing 3 touchdowns in that win. So again, got to give the love to Green Bay. One of the advanced metrics that I saw is that Jordan Love's passer rating in man-to-man coverage is off the chart. It's off the chart. So when you go man-to-man against Jordan Love, he eats those teams alive. And I have to say that Jordan Love did just that against the Detroit Lions. Whenever there was a big third and whatever, and he had to pick it up with his arm, he did that. Whenever there was the need for a big play in the game, he did that. So again, I got to give no pun intended, love to Jordan Love for the way that he bounced back and played. Jared Goff threw for 332, 2 touchdowns, but it came in the loss. I'll say this about Detroit. Detroit, the Lions are the new big brother in the NFC North. They're the new big brother. They have been there in my lifetime, and they're there now, but they're going to have games like this. They're going to have games where you're just scratching your head, where you're just trying to figure out how did they lose that game. They're the new big brother. They're not the Green Bay Packers of old. They're not, Minnesota when they ran through that division. They're not that kind of team. So you're going to have ups and downs like that. And for Lion fans who want to, oh, here we go, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You've never been there. You don't know how to be there, and you're not going to dominate every game that you're supposed to win. You're going to lose some that you're supposed to win, and you're going to win some that you were not supposed to win until you get comfortable in being in the hunted position versus the hunter position. And whether you want to agree with the psyche or not, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Again, I switched my pick at the beginning of the game and and was right about it. All right, Cowboys and Washington, 45-10, all Dallas. Again, there should be no Dak Prescott negativity going on. 331, 4 touchdowns, didn't throw a pick if I'm correct. I don't think he threw one in this game. Let me look to the expanded. No picks. And Prescott even, didn't have to run the ball a whole lot. So again, just a quality win, beatdown of Washington. Washington turned around and fired their defensive coordinator. I ain't no fan. I ain't a friend, and he can't come to my house and ask for nothing. But I think the head coach is next. I think he will be the next head coach to go in the NFL, and he should be. I know he's a great guy. I know he's overcome a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's about winning football games and having your team prepared to play. And there's no way that they can justify a 45-10 beatdown before a national audience. Washington is 4-8. If they lose one more game, they're going to have a losing record again. Just no justification for keeping an administration around that has that kind of productivity. So that's the case there. And then what else did we have on Thanksgiving Day? We had the 49ers and Seattle. 49ers are back. They healthy players again. Deebo Samuel's back, did his thing. 7 catches for 79 yards, but he impacts the game on so many different ways. Christian McCaffrey ran for 114 and 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy was himself again, 209, a touchdown in the win. They pressured Geno Smith all game long. Kept him at check. They also kept the running game at check and, the passing game. All phases of the game, San Francisco dominated again. So after going on that losing streak, they're back on a win streak. 31-13 was the final score there. And then we had our first Black Friday game, and that was the Dolphins and the Jets. The Jets got to get a quarterback. I said when they drafted Zach Wilson that he was not the answer. I said he was the worst of the quarterbacks coming out of that year. I hate to be right on things like that, but they've got to get a quarterback. Boyle ain't it. Wilson ain't it. And I got to be honest with you, man. They're going to have to be creative in the draft. They just can't go with one of the names of the big name quarterbacks coming out this year. They've got to get a quarterback that they don't have to worry about for the next 5 years. When's the last time the Jets had a quarterback like that where they did not have to worry about the quarterback position for the next 5 years? And there are a couple of names coming out of this draft that to me, they might look good in college, but I don't know if their game is going to translate on the next level. So I won't call any names. I'm just going to leave it there and say that the Jets have got to figure out their quarterback spot where they don't have to worry about the quarterback for the next 5 years. And I don't know if they're going to get that right. Tua Tagovailoa, of course, did his thing. Mostart did his thing. And, the receiving core in Miami is just sick. It's just sick. I mean, who are you going to focus on, and what happens when you focus on the wrong thing at the wrong time? So, all right, that was your holiday edition. Keith Hennick, what's going on? Keith Hennick said he was wrong. I caught it right before the right before the kickoff of the game. The people around me know because I called it to them, and they're like, "Huh, interesting." And they had listened to the show on that the day before. They had listened to the show. Keith Hennig said Bowles will beat him to the unemployment line. He said, "Don't you think Rodgers is good for a year or two?" You're not going to get me to say that dude is the answer anywhere. I will be happy when the dude retires. I know we won't be done with him because he'll be a commentator or he'll be on Pat McAfee or whatever. But he has meant to the game what he meant to the game. This new Aaron Rodgers, the political Aaron Rodgers, the controversial Aaron Rodgers, it ain't a good look. And I don't want him around for another 2 or 3 years, 1 or 2 years. He's going to try and prove to everyone that he can be. I just don't know if that's the answer for the Jets. I stick by what I said. They need to find their quarterback for the next 5 years that they don't have to worry about. Aaron Rodgers ain't that. So I'll leave it at that. Let me take a break. We'll get back on this thing. We'll wrap up the rest of the NFL scores. Of course, I got to talk some college, and then we got to talk coaching. We'll do all that right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and the Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast, where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
My name is Dennis Jeter, and I won $500 on the lunch break for keeping up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge.
All right, yeah, we're going to pay off another $50 to Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow. We'll pay off another $50 Wednesday on the winner for this week's Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. Hey, guys, we're running out of games. If you are in reach, man, you got to pick like you've never picked before because you want to be in that top 6 at the end of the season where you'll have a chance to compete for $500 cash. And right now we got some names up there that, you know, people have heard some of these names before, but some of them, man, folks are just getting it in. And I appreciate the folks that have been participating. So again, we'll have the announcement of the winner and the standings tomorrow on the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku, courtesy of BS3 TV. Oh man, I was going to get to this after I did the rest of the NFL scores, but I mean, it's my show. Let's do it now. Hugh Jackson is out at Grambling. It's official. Gave him 2 years, had a losing record at Grambling, but I saw some positive things this season. But again, 2 and done. The same thing with Coach Eric Dooley at Southern, 2 years and gone. The aberration is Clarence McKinney at Texas Southern. He got his full 5 years, never had a winning record, was not even really close to having a winning record in most of those 5. But the athletic director there gave him the full 5 years, and that bothered a lot of the alumni. So 2 years to me is not enough to turn a program around. And I know some folks were looking at another prominent coach who came into the SWAC and got instant success. But this man brought in resources. This man brought in hype. This man brought in players. I mean, he brought in a lot of what these coaches need time to bring in. And some coaches don't even get the ability to affect change in some of the areas that coach, who I'm going to, remain nameless because folks get goofy when you say his name, but to judge programs by that standard, I think is unrealistic. I mean, you need at least a recruiting class. So that's what, 3 years, 4 years. Not many of the guys stay for the full 4 years. You need a recruiting class to cycle through to see what you got. You got a lot of casual fans. Oh, after the first year, if a guy can coach. Yeah, okay. Again, we're talking more realistic. 2 years to me is not feasible. 5 years, 6 years may be too much, especially if you've never had a winning record. I'll stick with 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. If after 3 years you ain't heading in the right direction, move on. If you're heading in the right direction, give them that one more year to make it work. If they don't make it work, then you move on from there. But I think the trend in hiring former NFL coaches and former NFL players is another thing that's complicating and convoluting the waters. Just because you can coach on one level doesn't mean you can coach on all levels. It's just a fact. And I know some folks, no, if you can coach, you can coach. To some degree, but it's a big difference between college players and pro players, especially now with the portal and things like that. So you got to find a person who can recruit and hang on to those recruits. So, Hugh Jackson out at Grambling, Eric Dooley, of course, out at Southern, and Clarence McKinney out at Texas Southern. All right. We'll see where they go from there. Texas Southern, hire Johnny Cole. You'll thank me later. Hire Johnny Cole. Put whatever parameters you want to put around his hiring. Whatever restrictions you want to put around him. Build in whatever you want to build into his contract. But hire Johnny Cole. And I'll stand by that. Look, if you have a different opinion, have it. If you want to share it, share it. But get ugly, and we gonna deal with it. That's all I'll say. All right, let me get to these games before I threaten somebody to lie. All right, last night, one of the ugliest games I've seen in a long time. The Chicago Bears held on for a 12-10 win over the Minnesota Vikings. Josh Hobbs threw 4 INTs in that loss, and now, of course, Minnesota is they don't know if they're going to make him their starter. You brought in a dude not off the street. You brought in the dude off of another team's roster. He had some immediate success. And teams, again, once they get more film on you in that offense, they catch up. So is it Josh Dobbs' fault that he turned the ball over 4 times? You can't turn the ball over that much. Does that mean he's not a good quarterback? No, not at all. If that means that, they never should have stuck with Peyton Manning. They never should have stuck with Brett Favre. They never should have stuck with these guys who have thrown, 20 interceptions in a season. They shouldn't have stuck with them. Hall of Fame would look totally different if they hadn't. Am I saying Joshua Dobbs is a Hall of Fame quarterback? No, I'm just saying one game doesn't define who he is. Both those teams need a little help. And, Vikings, of course, still have playoff aspirations. The Bears don't. I think their head coach will probably be another one that should be on the hot seat. The Panthers fired their head coach, Frank Reich, after losing to Tennessee 17-10, 1-10 on the year. More importantly, not seeing much development in what he's doing with Bryce Young. First coach to get fired after fired in back-to-back seasons. That's very interesting. First coach to get fired in back-to-back seasons. Got fired from Colts last year, got fired from the Panthers this year. Tennessee, 4-7, 17-10. Everybody's raving about the quarterback, Will Levis. I mean, again, he managed the game very well. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Jacksonville and the Texans, 24-21. Jacksonville, they are in sole possession of first place. They pushed back the Texans for at least another week. A lot of calls in that game that were, whatever. But the main thing that I'll say about the Texans, you cannot give up 4 sacks, and most importantly, you can't take a sack on the play before the game-tying field goal, and you gotta protect your quarterback. Gotta protect your quarterback. And the first game when they blew Jacksonville out and gave up no sacks, this game they gave up 4. Kicker who has never made a field goal over 50 yards ends up missing a 58-yard by hitting the crossbar. That close. They don't take that sack. We're playing in overtime. Who knows what happens? You take that sack, that close, dings off. He's out of a job today, and the Texans are trying to bounce back and figure it out. Got to give some credit to Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. They knew the assignment and understood the assignment. He threw for 364 and a touchdown. C.J. Stroud, another 304 and 2 touchdowns. He is going to be the rookie offensive player of the year. Patriots, again, a place where there will probably be a coaching change. They lose to the Giants 10-7. Let's just stop with the Mac Jones experiment. Let's just stop with it. I mean, seriously, put somebody else in, leave them in. You're not trying to win the division. You're not trying to make a playoff spot. Stop sending that young man out for additional criticism. Move on from him, trade him away, send him wherever you're going to send him, release him, whatever you're going to do. But now it's just abusive. So again, moving on there. I picked the Steelers over the Bengals. That's what happened, 16-10. Nothing to just write about that. The Steelers have some issues in-house that they've got to fix, and, no need to belabor that. The New Orleans Saints is a team that might need a coaching change. I am just not a fan of Dennis Allen. The dude has not won on any level that I know of, and they got to figure that out. Falcons beat them 24-15. The Falcons at 5-6 are in first place of the NFC South. That's ugly. That is real, real ugly. Buccaneers lost to the Colts 27-20. Again, say what you want to say about Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is the backup quarterback everybody else needs. The backup quarterback that everybody else needs is Gardner Minshew. Broncos, 5 wins in a row, 29-12 over the Cleveland Browns. Again, the injuries are catching up to Cleveland. They are still in strong contention for the AFC North, strong contention for the playoffs. But, man, another quarterback goes down, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and he goes out with a concussion. I hope Joe Flacco is not the starting quarterback next week. Lord. Okay. Anyway, kudos to Russ Wilson and the Denver Broncos. Amazing how good the Broncos can be when their head coach just shuts up and coaches. All right, the Rams beat the Cardinals 37-14. Eagles beat the Bills 37-34. If you are not a believer in Jalen Hurts at this stage of your life, you're never going to believe. If you are not a believer in Jalen Hurts, the dude who just goes out and does whatever he has to do to win. I'm on a whole mental level with Jalen Hurts. It doesn't matter how poorly he plays. It doesn't matter if he's only completed 20% of his passes, if he's thrown 15 interceptions. It does not matter. If there's a chance to win the game, that dude is going to do it with his legs. He's going to do it with his arm. He's going to do it with his head. He's going to do it with his eyes. He's going to do it with his ears. His pinky toe is going to work with him to find a way to win the game. That is the kind of guy that I'll take day in and day out every single way. When the dude that went out to call the toss for Philadelphia, the Bills won the toss, and he said, it don't matter. It don't matter. No cap. No cap. So let me just ask these couple of questions. The Bills are 6-6. What has Sean McDermott won in his career that makes you think he can turn this around? What has he done in his career that makes you think he can turn this around? And I'll say the same thing about Josh Allen. Both of them are getting credit for stuff that they've never done. Neither of them have won a Super Bowl. Neither of them have, just taken that next step. And if it's all about AFC championship games, if it's all about division titles, then great. Crown them. In the words of Dennis Green, crown them. But what have these two done that gives them the cachet that they get and the grace that they get? I mean, again, I'm not trying to say fire them or whatever, but I'm just telling you that these guys have always been the bridesmaid and never the bride. All right, who else we got? Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-17. Again, no moral victories, but the Raiders are more competitive now, and they lost by 14. They're more competitive now than they have been in a long, long time. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes finding a way to win with what he has. Just who's out there today? All right, let's go. Let's go. Ravens 20-10 over the Chargers. Lamar Jackson, similar to what I said about Jalen Hurts, I can say the same thing about Lamar. The Ravens taking a sole possession lead over the AFC North. All right, that's what we got. Now, let me take one more break, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap it up after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Willie just chimed in and broke my heart. Joe Flacco is Joe Flacco. Okay. All right. He says, I believe the officials affected that game. The Bills got shafted. I can say the same thing about the Texans. It's always something with the Bills. It's always some kind of way they don't take that next step. He says it's not a thing. Okay. All right. We'll see. Let me take this break. We'll be right back. Right after this on lunch break, powered by JM&E.
For Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez. And it's caught! Deebo Samuel with the catch.
Michael Jordan can sense
the throw, just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes. The coldest of cold, hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
My name is Dennis Jr., and I won $500 for lunch money for keeping up with the Jonas Bracket Challenge.
All right, we're about to wrap it up right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on ROKU TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. The NCAA games from this week, again, no excuses, no excuses whatsoever. Number 3 Michigan beat number 2 Ohio State 30-24. Credit, respect, whatever you want to say. I will not ever support a team on any level. That includes the Astros, That includes the Michigan. That includes any team that gets caught for cheating. People can lose their freaking mind all they want and go on this little, but everybody does it and yada, yada, yada. That is not an excuse. And if your parents raised you that way, then good for them. That's y'all's problem. Right is right, wrong is wrong, and Michigan is not a victim. And all this for you, coach, that's stupid, man. That is dumb. That the offensive coordinator, the brother that's running the show, he'll get a head coaching job. But, man, I'm telling you, this whole Michigan is a victim. It's us against the world. Yeah, I can't cuss. I got people listening today. You cheated. You being investigated for cheating. And let me go to the other side of it. The NCAA is a joke. I've said it was a joke. I believe it is a joke. I wish we had some real ballsy athletic directors of these big programs like Ohio State, like UT, that just have all this money behind them, the movers and shakers of the bottom line, who would literally just buck the NCAA and say, this is what we're going to do, and we don't care what you say about it. Because the NCAA is going to investigate Michigan for cheating and do nothing about it. Michigan will get to compete for the college football playoffs, which is not governed by the NCAA, by the way. They're going to compete for that. They may win it. And everybody will be rallying around a team that got caught cheating. I choose not. I'm not higher than nobody else. I'm not better than nobody else. But guess what? I stand by what I stand on. I stand on business. I stand on the business. You lied. You cheated. Jim Harbaugh is a joke. The dude is a blank hole. And if that's who you want to rally around, I don't know why I'm tripping on this myself. Look at who half the nation is rallying around. So it makes sense. Let me get off my soapbox. Congratulations, Michigan, on the win. Ohio State, you got to figure out Ryan Day, because clearly he's not the dude to get them over the hump when it comes to winning national chips and beating Michigan. And remember the Cooper situation. So anyway, Jaden Daniels should be a Heisman Trophy winner, but at least a finalist with what he did, LSU over A&M. Gotta give love to Alabama and Milroe. Man, this dude got benched earlier this year, and all he's done is gotten Alabama to a record of 11-1, 27-24 on the last second play against their arch rival Auburn. How y'all let that happen? Defensive coordinator, defensive back, anything short of that, and you win the game. And y'all would have done us all a favor, but no, you didn't understand the assignment. Did not understand the assignment. Florida State getting the win with their backup quarterback. If they finish undefeated, they should have a chance to compete for the college football championship. Washington, do not stumble in the Pac-12 championship, and you're there as well. Who else? Notre Dame, big win over Stanford. I'm sick of Clemson. I'm glad they got 4 losses. We ain't got to worry about them in any kind of major bowl. Iowa and Michigan in the Big Ten championship game. Iowa, if you about that life, do what you got to do. If you're not, hush, move, and figure it out on your own. So anyway, I got to get ready to go. As always, oh my gosh, what happened to the Lakers last night? As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There's nothing you can do about it except tune in tomorrow to hear the winner of this week's Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. All right, y'all tune in. Y'all be blessed. We will talk to y'all tomorrow, and we will go from there. Y'all have a good one.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Number 1, on the final day of the 4-day ceasefire between the country of Israel and Hamas terrorists, officials announced a 2-day extension of that truce in the Middle East. Sunday, day 3, there was a release of 17 hostages by Hamas, including a 4-year-old Israeli-American girl. According to various news reports, this brought the total number of hostages released by Hamas to 58. A total of 117 Palestinian prisoners were released by Israel during the truce, primarily women and teens. Number 2, in a surprising turn of events, Hill Harper, the Democratic candidate for a U.S. Senate seat in the state of Michigan, revealed he was offered a staggering $20 million in campaign support to abandon his Senate bid and instead mount a primary challenge against Congressman Rashida Tlaib. The actor-turned-politician took to social media to announce his refusal of the tempting offer, stating, "I won't be bossed, bullied, or bought." This offer comes amid scrutiny over Representative Rashida Tlaib, who's been censured by the GOP-led House over her criticism of the Israeli government. Number 3, Food Network star Cardia Brown puts a low country twist on a classic dish, this time nachos. For those who are new to this type of cuisine, low country cuisine is traditionally associated with South Carolina low country on the Georgia coast. For the recipe, you can make this shrimp, crab, and cheesy dish. Check out the What You Need to Know newsletter. Number 4, Jerry Minor, a 55-year-old black man, has filed a federal lawsuit against several correctional officers from the Lauderdale County, Alabama Sheriff's Office after he was assaulted while in jail. According to the suit, Minor was assaulted in May 3 times in less than an hour by officers Devin Whitehead, Nicholas Roach, and Christopher Hart. Minor is seeking compensation for violations of state law for assault and battery, violations of his Fourth Amendment rights, and deprivation of liberty for denying him access to make a telephone call. Number 5, business owners, do you know the guidelines to successfully claim an automobile mileage tax deduction? Having a mileage log is critical for both sole proprietors and corporate owner employees. Our celebrity CPA, Katrina M. Kraft, gives us all the details when it comes to auto mile deduction. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Be optimistic. Optimism opens the door to infinite positive possibilities. Okay. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian extraordinaire Damon Williams, political contributor Cameron Riley, and producer extraordinaire Ahmed Gordon as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, the American Heart Association and Black Health Matters. Barbara Scotia College, an HBCU in Concord, North Carolina, needs our help. The What You Need to Know team is asking supporters, alumni, and friends of Barbara Scotia to help them meet their immediate and pressing needs by donating to help Barbara Scotia rise. Please join the thousands of donors from around the world who are stepping up to save one of the nation's oldest HBCUs. Please visit SybylWilkes.com for more information. I am Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.
Hi, I'm Laura Williams coming to you from Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. Here we've got tons of inventory here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands, ranging from XT4s to XT6 and from CT4 to CT6. We've got tons of certified pre-owned inventory here. Come see us here at Bayway Cadillac of the Woodlands. You can contact Laura Williams at 281-224-3666.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.